So the main thing is a lot of people get stuck because whenever I was talking to a few people, not just like, at this event specifically, but also on our Q&A calls. And when I asked them, what's your next month's goal? Or what's your next 3 months goals? They say like I have number, whatever that number could be. But when I ask them like, do you have a way or method to reach that? Or do you have like exactly mapped out how you're going to achieve that goal? And everyone gives me like a very vague answer. And then I have to be very blunt but tell you that by doing that, you have already lost the battle. So you're not going to achieve your goals for sure, right? And that's why it's very important. Like, I remember as soon as I came back, from my vacation, which is something I recommend everyone to do once a quarter. Challenge yourself to take, a few days off. It's really good because it allows you to reflect all these things. But as soon as I came back, the first thing that I did is I took our company numbers and I was like, okay, this is the goal for the next, 2018. These are the quarterly objectives and this is what we're doing. And what I did is I called all the leaders on the meeting and I was like, this is exactly what we are going to do. And everyone had their action items prepared. Then I told everybody to go prepare their own goals and come back to me with exact numbers that they are going to hit in order to achieve these goals. And because of all these things, we had a very good January as well, right? So that's why it's very important. Even if you don't have a team or whatever, we have to do this exercise. So for people who are, let's suppose, and maybe you have your whatever number that you might be doing in your business, but you haven't reached like a point where money is like not a thing that drives you anymore. Okay, you are still driven by money, right? Then what we have to really do is we have to formulate a lot of your goals around money specifically and how exactly those superficial things will help you get that gratification that you're looking for. Because I could sit here and tell you that, okay, let's form goals like how Google does, that I want to make like a billion people thing. But you'll be like, Ron, I don't care right now. Next month I have to pay XYZ stuff, or I have to take care of whatever. And that's why I don't think I will be able to achieve that goal. And whenever I ask people, like, what's your company's mission? Oh, it's to educate these many people. It's to reach all those people. And I'm like, really? But are you like truly living that? Do you really, really believe in that every single day? And like, what do you really want? Oh, I just want to make like, 10 crores. Like, so that is what you actually want. Be crystal clear, because if you're not, then you're not going to achieve it. And you're basically lying to yourself. So something I want to share with all of you, something that I personally did when I was at that stage, and anyone who's crossed that stage and you're like, money doesn't motivate me, I'll talk about that as well in a second. But it's very important for you to know what exactly you want, because if you don't, then your team will be really confused, you will be really confused, and you'll be just flying blindly. So if you can just open the vision map. What I personally did is I first decided by figuring out what exactly do I aspire for, right? And to do that, I took like this test. It's called just Myers-Briggs. And has anyone heard of that test? Yeah. So what it came up with is that my personality is more logician, right? And it allowed me to figure out, okay, based on my personality, what should be my work habits, right? And what exactly should be my day-to-day discipline like? What kind of teams or projects should I work on? What should I not work on? So I would highly recommend, in case anyone has not taken that, and few other tests that I have that I would highly recommend. So for most of you, what I would highly recommend is formulate something like a vision map, where if for 2026, be super clear on what you want. So if you scroll down, by 2020, right? I mean, this is something I did like back in 2020, so that's why it's old. Update that accordingly. But what exactly is your business goal, right? How many customers do you want to get? How many exact strategy calls you have to do in order to get there? How will you actually produce those conversion rates, right? What is the exact skill you need to learn this particular year in order to achieve that thing? Who is that one person that you really need to hire in order to achieve that thing? And the other thing that you really need to be clear regarding would be your accumulated finance goals, which is how much exact cash in the bank you need to have in order to feel secure. And whatever that number for you is, it's really important that you have to ensure that you reach there, because Other than that, you won't be able to make big moves, right? I mean, that's what personally happened, at least to me, because before that, it was just like, how do I just save a lot of money in my bank, and that's it, right? And until I, you know, exited that mentality, I couldn't make the moves like hiring people who are, much bigger than me. Earlier, it was like, okay, just how do I reach that stage? And then it was later around like, how do I reach that vision to be able to hire or invest in my business to be able to reach that stage? Some of you might be able to resonate, right? So, point is that that's something that you should definitely do. The other thing I would recommend is, it's not just like making money is fine, but like, what about, you know your fitness and health, right? It's very important that you set that up as well. It was a wake up call for me last year itself, where like, despite my father actually reaching a very good stage in his life, as a business owner himself, he had a heart attack. And like, he was 60 years old or something, and for him it was like a complete shock, because he's like, I worked hard. I even went to the gym and everything. But despite all of these things, is that even worth it? So what I would highly recommend is, if you're not prioritizing that, it might seem like, why is Rohan talking about this stuff during a business lecture? Because trust me, I've seen a lot of people who have succeeded but then failed because of their health, and by not having clear goals, for sure. So I would highly recommend that you just do that. And same with relationship goals as well, that you might have set for your parents, for your spouse, whatever the case might be.